Alright, don't need that. There. Gonna be mostly waterproofing. Shouldn't need mache paste tonight. Last blueberry soda. Oh, fan is off. Hey, cat. What's up, Joey? Bucket. And there's the stuff. Okay. There's your thing. Hey. Hi, fuzzy cat. Oh, yes I am, Shell. Yes I am. Never got hit with the full brunt of the crawling crud that has struck so many of my colleagues low. But I was worried about it for a while there. And that feels just like a solid lump. Damn. I'm going to check this burlap experiment first because it is in my way. Because it's very, 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 very in my way. Alright, so let's get this head out of here. Unstring the string. Hey, I think everybody has had versions of the creeping, crawling crud that has come through. In fact, let's leave that in a small knot. Okay, so this has been mached. And it, I don't think it's sticking to the head so much as it has become very, very inflexible. Let's see how easy it is to get the head out. I'm going to actually try to get this out from the back. No, maybe it is sticking to the head. Alright, so there's the head removal. And pretty much just standard little bit of mache around there. Yeah, no, as soon as I felt the tingle, I went right to the store and got a good-sized bit of, what is it? It's the orange juice and pineapple juice combo. Of course, research has found that the vitamin C actually doesn't do a damn thing unless you are a very, very, very fit and active person, which I am not. Still feels good, though. What's up, Joseph? Alright, we're also going to play a little stream trick. So that's the that's it. It's like the head's still in there. I could probably fill this back up with stuffed paper, stuffed trash bags, almost anything, and it would be as if I hadn't done anything. So here's what we're gonna do, though. We're gonna take the head, move it off camera. Hopefully it's not going to fall down and whomp me in the face. We're going to put it back here, and we're going to see how many people ask if we've done the head yet. When they show up. Just for funsies. Today I want to waterproof these. I've got 5 bottles and the Soul Taker Talisman, and they should all be bone dry at this point. So I want to take the time right now to get that done. Damn it, Ross. That thing is actually really, really well holding up. I was surprised. I did not figure that would hold its shape anywhere near as well. And that is just mache paste. That is nothing else. That's no special anything to it. No backing, nothing. Squat. I mean, reasonably, I could probably... Just checking this to see if it's maintaining its cloudiness. I could probably reasonably take a little bit of the spar urethane and start putting that on there and get that tolerably waterproofed. So, alright, but otherwise let's get these all finalized so I don't have to worry about them on Halloween night. And then we gotta worry about a rope for this Soul Taker. Which way is the on? On should be that way. Yep, there's the on. And then we gotta glue 2 bits of aluminum foil circles into its eyes to be eye mirrors. But there's no way I'm going to get that one completely set tonight because I'm going to have to stain or waterproof half and then waterproof the other half. Oh, I can't wait till I'm away from that fridge. So it's probably not going to be an exciting night, sorry, but them's the breaks. But it's going to be a productive night. And we have our little joke brewing in the background for anybody who takes a while to show up and sees the Scarecrow head. I am really surprised at how well that came out. How's it going, Tamara? Oh, there we go. Nice spar urethane. Some nice smelly spar urethane. Awesome. And let's get that brush I've been doing urethaning with for a while. Hey Gladys and hi Chris. We coated it in a layer of paper mache paste, and that's it. We weren't sure how well it would work, so we just experimented. Because I had somebody last night was thinking about doing that project, wasn't sure how well it would work, So I said, you know what? I always do a test piece. Tell you what, if you don't want to do one, I'll do one tonight on stream because I'm kind of curious about it. Threw it all together and boom. And it worked surprisingly, very surprisingly well. Very, very, very surprisingly well. I don't like that. Well, you know what? Let's get the urethane right in there. All the way around this cork. That'll help to water seal it because I don't plan on opening this thing again anyway. Yeah. And for a quickie, I mean, there's better ways to do scarecrows. I've seen them done on the tubes of use, but if you just want something quick, cheap, and effective, there's that. I think if I were to do it a little bit better, I would make the intermediate stage paper clay stuff with joint compound in there, so it had just a little bit more substance. And I might put a bit of wood glue in there so it had a little bit more waterproofing. Nope, didn't put anything on the styrofoam head. Nothing at all. Mache paste generally doesn't stick too well to styrofoam. It bonds enough, but not hideously well. I mean, if you're worried about it, you could easily just take a little bit of cooking oil, rub it on the styrofoam head, done. It doesn't take too much to coax the mache into not sticking with any kind of oil product. The one gentleman I saw making a very good scarecrow mask online covered his head form with double-sided tape. Then he stuck cloth to the inside. Of course, he was making a mask, so it's got a slightly different set of rules altogether because you're going to be wearing the thing and you're going for comfort. For me, when I make a mask, the big key is breathability. I don't like having my airflow restricted. Not since I once put on a Crusader Great Helm in the SCA. Said, nope. Nope, 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 nope. Open face mask, thank you very much. Can't breathe in those things. How's it going, Pearly? Funny you should ask. The burlap is going quite well. Thinking about taking it off the head in a little bit. Or maybe I already took it off the head. Dun dun dun. Plot twist! How's it going, Kevin? Not too much is up. Just had these 5 bottles. They've got to get waterproofed at some point. So, dun, 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 dun. Here we go. Get it done. Da, 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 da. Not my favorite part of the bottle project, but my candy table has usually at least 2 water-based skull misters on it. And if that mist gets on these bottles, then my cotton is going to start peeling off the sides. So this cannot be left to chance. If I was a being of extreme patience, I would also put multiple coats on this. Sadly. Good. Nice. I'm actually not familiar with Dan Reeder's style, but I'm about to be. Paper mache dragon is popping up. I think I know this fellow. Ah, yes. If that's the one. Yep, I've got his book. Yep. He makes some amazing dragons. How's it going, Sandra? Of course, that's making me think of the movie Patton. Dan, you magnificent bastard! I bought your book! I have not yet made a dragon, but his techniques are so universally excellent. They can be used on lots of different things. I like a lot of his cloth applique. Yeah. You know, the one thing I like, but I don't know if I can bring myself to do, is the one where he applies all the paint to the wing surfaces and then ends up wiping like 9/10 of it off. And I know what the effect does, and I know it looks great, but using up that much paint to not use that much paint is like an affront to my senses. Hey Laura, how's it going? Every part of me that is thrifty goes into emotional burnout when I see him do that. It's like, damn, no! Find another method. I'm also kind of curious, if I hit stuff with a little urethane, do I get the shiny happiness that I like rather than the scuzziness that I don't? I am not above redoing parts of this orb. We'll give that some drying time. I want to have another look at it. So I hate how those little branchy bits came out. Alright, moving on. Okay, good. Good. That makes me feel better. This guy. Otherwise, like, all wasting all this good paint. Another blueberry soda. My last blueberry soda. No, there's no sacrifices. Damn it. The sacrifices should be small in materials. When the materials are expensive, then it's Personal opinion on other people's art projects. If people really want it, I mean, not if I can help it generally, because my opinion isn't worth a flip. I can comment on technique, and I can comment on whether you want to make your stuff more like my stuff. But realistically, I try to keep my opinions to myself, because your art is your art. My art is my art. Well, fair enough. Yeah, it's one of those, if you ask for it, I'll give it to you. No problem. Thanks, Laura. They are a lot of fun. A lot of fun projects. And some of them are just so ridiculously simple and cheap. That's what I love. Cool. Well, let's see, Laura, I am currently staining, or waterproofing, these witch ingredient bottles, and something just happened to my Facebook chat. But it looks like it restarted. I'm going to make sure that is working. Yeah. It's one of the reasons I try to be careful. Alright, let's see what just happened to Facebook chat, because it suddenly blanked on me. Oh, I don't know why they make it so annoyingly difficult to navigate to my own page. There we go. Am I still broadcasting to Facebook? Or did something screw up? Yeah, Brian, incidentally, regarding Facebook, if you go to the UnHallowed page, there's a link in the description of the video there. You can post your project to... There is a thread where people have been posting their projects. And I can view a lot of stuff from there. Okay, there we go. I am still on according to this. Alright. So there we go. Oh, cool. Excellent. So, Laura, if you're still there, something may have happened to my monitoring here, but if you're still there, we are still making these little witchy bottles. I think I'll turn one on at the moment so we can see. I don't want the batteries to die, but why not have a little demo piece? Look for any post that you can comment on. I was hoping to make it so that anybody could just post whatever, but folks were having trouble actually posting on there, which didn't make any sense to me. It should be wide open. Anybody should be able to comment on there. Yep. Oh, that's so gonna fall. So totally gonna fall. There we go. Alright, well, let's see if my Facebook monitoring part here comes back. It's possible that Laura just didn't say anything else, but Spar varnish is pretty darn resilient, particularly if you use the old. I mean, it's generally a marine grade material. Okay, good. Glad you're still there, Laura. I was worried. My little Facebook side here went blank all of a sudden. It's like, wait a minute, it's not supposed to do that. Yeah, so spar varnish is, again, pretty much a marine grade stuff that is very, very good at holding up under different weathers, temperatures, and whatnot. The whole reason they call it spar, because the spar on a ship, well, there's a couple of different parts, but you know, it occurs to me that I am confusing the yard arm with the spar. But suffice to say, the spar is a part on the ship which has to be, well, varnished. And if you use a crappy varnish on a ship piece, the salt water and everything is going to do it in. Yeah. I do not sell them, Laura, no. I do tutorials on how to make them, and if you check out my YouTube channel, which is under that name, there is an instruction on how to make them all. Good stuff, Kevin. That's about what I have to do every night right around 10:30. Due to work as well. They are ridiculously cheap to make and easy. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll definitely have a look at it. No problem. No problem at all. The burlap head dried exceptionally well and solid. I was rather impressed with how well it stood up. It pretty much became a solid. Has the same typical problem that when you throw mache paste on most fabrics and then try to bend them, they will start to crack and fray. Have a good one, Brian. Can't wait to see your project. Check it out when I'm all set streaming here. But the burlap head completely held its shape. No problem. Ooh, pardon. I used mache paste on the burlap head. Just mache paste. It was an experiment to see if mache paste would work, or if we would need some funky, fruity, better material. And I think the mache paste is absolutely fine by itself. Though I would want to mix it with its drywall joint compound. How hard is it? It's that hard. Let me put it this way. If I pull it off right now, it's going to get all over the place with small bits of fluff. Could I paint on it? Possibly. The fear I would have at the moment is that the paint would instill enough moisture in it to negate the stiffening effect of the mache. I do plan on throwing a little bit of spar varnish on it, or spar urethane on it, because I've got it out right now anyway, and seeing what happens. I do kind of want to get this stuff taken care of first, though. I suppose we could probably just put some on the top, since that is all facing me and whatever. I also don't want a bottle tipping over and whacking me in the face. And it's still pretty stiff with the spar varnish on it. It's not really causing it to soften very much. I would say it depends on the kind of decapitated head you want. If you want like a full flesh face decapitated head, I would get a styrofoam and paint it up, or a mannequin head and modify it. But if you need a scarecrow head, then you throw that together real easy. You could almost get yourself a tiny beach ball. That would do it without a problem. Just don't want the battery to completely burn up on that. They probably have plenty of charge on them, but don't want to burn it up. Unless I get somebody come in who's new and has never seen this stuff and has no idea, needs to know. I have not done one at the old homework shop this year, but one of the perks of my teaching position is that I get to do pumpkins with my students every year, and consequently they need to see it happen first, so I get to make a pumpkin at school every year for my job as a demonstration for the students. So it's like free craft time that the state pays me to do. Of course, it's not all free craft time, because I do have to do a lot of it after work too. Because while you're doing it at work, there's a lot of times where the students are asking questions. You gotta go over, you gotta help them out. You can't just sit there and work on your project the whole time and ignore them. That would be dereliction of duty. Nice. Paper clay is always my favorite part. I actually had a student whip up a really good batch of paper clay. I think he used way too much flour and not enough water, but it came out like a dough, which is exactly how I love my paper clay to come out. So I got to ask him tomorrow exactly what he did. He generated a lot of waste too, but that was okay because we just turned the waste into more paper clay. But whatever steps he did, he got the dough. And if I can figure it out, or he can tell me, then I can reproduce my favorite type of clay. So I've only ever made that stuff like once. Oh, the toilet paper clays are great. Yeah, they hold detail a lot better than the cellulose fiber. If you're going for a detailed sculpt, totally use toilet paper clay. It's amazing. I think it's Jody over at Ultimate Paper Mache has a beautiful, beautiful toilet paper clay recipe. The only problem with it is because the linseed oil, it takes forever and a half to dry. But beyond that, it's magnificent. Yeah, it's easily got a 3-day drying time on it usually. But it's worth it. If you need detail, oh my god, is it worth it. This one I can do with that off. Oh, she did start emitting that. Okay. I can't say I'm surprised, because I did do a batch of hers without the linseed oil. And it did dry much faster. Yep. She's still got one of the best solid detail recipes out there. Still pisses me off to this day that years ago when I first researched it and you typed in paper mache or paper clay into the YouTube search, the first video that came up was Jody's. And nowadays if you type in paper clay, the first video that comes up is these couple of teeny boppers out of Japan or some other place with this, product stuff, special art craft crap, and they're making little puffballs and cupcakes and yeah, linseed oil is definitely not anything you want really young kids to be swallowing and playing with. Yep, clay pumpkins is me. I have a very niche market. Cornered the market on paper clay pumpkins, yeah. Well, we'll broaden the range. We'll be going to pumpkin sentinels at length, scarecrows, heaven only knows. I gotta start making better tombstones. Once this house purchase goes through, yuck, 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 yuck. It's gonna be really awful though is if I start to diversify way too much. My cats know. There are certain places they are not allowed. We trained on this very early. And I'm also very fortunate in that both of my cats generally do not like the rapidly moving air of a fan. And whenever my stuff is on the craft table and done, I turn the fan on it to dry it. And because the fan's on it, my cats don't like to be in front of it. So they do not jump up on it. And that's been kind of handy. The house purchase is in the phases right now where I need to get a letter of commitment from the bank To get the letter of commitment, I have to send in a whole bunch of information to the bank, and the thing I need to get right now is my last 2 federal tax returns. So I gotta go make an account, blah 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 blah, and do all the jump through hoops to make that happen. Pardon. It's all finding paperwork, getting paperwork to bank. Then I have to take a online course on first-time home buying, and they'll approve it. Then presumably the lawyer will tell me what else I need. Yeah. Go through the process. I imagine it's just paperwork. It's just annoying. It's not too bad. It's not like they want my firstborn or anything. They'd be really, really pissed off with that deal. We want your firstborn. I'd be bringing them in a pumpkin. What the hell is this? We want your firstborn child. I know. It's the first pumpkin I ever made. Treat him well. His name is Chompy. I'm gonna miss him. I am a forever student. Never stop learning. I better be a forever student. Yeah, I expect the whole house deal will be finalized in late November, early December, or mid-December. We'll see. And for the first time in a long time, I'm going to actually have to shovel my own snow. I call it the Own a House Diet Plan. Exercise 1, shovel the snow. Exercise 2, mow the lawn. All these things I have not done in many years of renting. 60 days is usually the turnaround for most banks and their closing and mortgages. Man, I want a blueberry kick lately. All right, two bottles down. Let's pull the cork out because we are wondering why that's wet. Shouldn't be any moisture in there. Weird. Yep, Chompy is my first pumpkin. And I am not a big fan of gigantic amounts of snow. Winter is beautiful right up until you hit New Year's. And then winter sucks. And then spring is beautiful until the flies come. And then summer is always magnificent because I'm a teacher. Yep. Well, I'm at least lucky in that I can borrow Dad's leaf blower. All that fun stuff. I know my dad is looking forward to making jokes about how I actually have to do all the household chores again, as I've been renting for flip all ever. But to a certain extent, it'll be so nice to have my home. First thing I'm going to do, I'm going to pick some sort of Viking or Halloween movie. I'm going to turn up my speakers to the exact level that I actually want them to be at, and I'm going to watch it. And winter comes around here, believe me. And it's going to be some night on either Thanksgiving or Christmas break, and I'm going to get up at 3 in the morning, and I'm going to play some music really loudly. Or I'm going to get out my Doombek drum or my Bodran drum, and I'm going to play it in the middle of the night, loud as I want. And nobody can say anything. Because there's no way I'll play it loudly enough to carry over to the next door neighbor. Everything will be fine. I found that last year the winter lingered a lot later than I had ever thought it would. And that was my problem with it. Cold didn't disturb me half as much as the length of time. It was just long. And it wouldn't stop. Winter wouldn't shut up and go away. And I will actually be able to park my car in the garage again. Oh, it's gonna be so nice. So nice. Can't wait. Oh, the winters are always bad if you listen to other people talk. It's gonna be terrible. It's gonna be terrible. It's gonna be fine. Everybody's gonna live. It's gonna be alright. I don't believe anybody here is in their late 90s. It'll be okay. Now, here's a thought. I'll do the bottom first, then put this down on the table so I can do the top. Yeah. I'm about to be 39 myself. I don't think I am especially unhealthy apart from the obesity. Otherwise, I seem to be in decent running condition. Yeah, it's always fun to hear people from fair weather states complain about the weather. It was 40 degrees this week. It's so... Why are you laughing? Stop laughing. It snowed for 2 whole days. Why are you laughing? Stop laughing. Or when I went over to England, actually it snowed for 2 days, and it was the first time it had snowed there in like 7 years in the part where I was living. Southeastern England does not get snow. Ah. Having a car is fun. I love having my car. Hate when my car is in the shop. I really like that little bottle. Yeah, pretty much. I brought some winter with me. I am drinking blueberry soda. This is Captain Eli's Blueberry Pop. My last bottle. Grabbed a 4-pack a couple of days ago because a couple of weeks ago I tried a Maine Root blueberry soda and I thought it was quite good. Saw this in the store around and thought, hey, that blueberry soda was pretty damn good. I think I'll grab another one. Try this brand. No, I can't drink alcohol currently. The present medication says no alcohol. But while that does not thrill me, I am not going to go against what it says to do. You even got to be careful with soda, just weight loss wise. Stuff got so much sugar and so many calories in it. You don't want to be stupid. Ah, ginger beer. Yep. Fantastic stuff. Can't remember when I started drinking a lot of that. I want to say when I was over in England is when I started drinking a lot of ginger beer. To this day, I still think the best ginger beer is the Goya ginger beer. The Goya Fiery Ginger Beer. Really good stuff. And actually fairly available. In many supermarkets, depending on where you are, obviously. Lemonade's good too. Yeah, I like to limit my soda intake of all kinds whenever possible, and quite frankly, when I do that, I usually get the little mixer packets that you mix with your water bottles, and usually when I have that, I get their lemonades. Usually get a 2-liter bottle, fill it with water, or at least up to the quart mark there, and then dump in the packet of lemonade mix. And there's my beverage. Assuming I'm not just drinking water. The Honda Element, huh? Yeah, give me a sec, we'll take a look. I actually wish I had a Costco around. A number of my skeletons come from Costco. My uncle brought them up for me. He lives close to New York City. Of course, he's recently had a major falling out with my father, so I probably won't see him again for quite a long time. Oof, pardon. Images. Yeah, not bad. Oh, Honda Element. It's not as bad as the Scion. I always see that car, it drives me nuts because it's a box on wheels. I have not messed around with dry ice, mostly because not necessarily lack of ability, or availability, but quite frankly the lack of availability. You usually can get it if you go to a butcher shop or a meat packing place in a supermarket, as they often use dry ice, but I don't have any contacts in the local supermarkets, so I haven't been willing to go in there and borrow for it. Yeah. Like I said, not a bad little vehicle. And dry ice is a lot of fun, but I don't have quite the staffing at my haunt to maintain it and do the, as far as I'm concerned, almost constant maintenance that it requires to make it look good. Yeah, you can sometimes get it from beer distributors too. Hey, Brian. See if you can post them through the, again, try the UnHallowed site. You should be able to send me a message on there, to which you should be able to attach the clips, which I can then share with it, or you should be able to find the post where other people have been posting their work, and you may be able to attach the clips to that. So one way or another, you should be able to get your work on there without too much trouble. I give you pumpkins, you give me dry ice. Yes, this works. It's very good. It's good tray. It's good pumpkin. Very solid. Yeah, there's lots of sources to get it from, but it's rarely advertised. Yes, it will. There are only 2 people who have any kind of access to that site, Brian, and I'm the only one of those 2 people who actually checks it regularly. The other person doesn't even know he has access. He's the guy I run my haunt with, and he does not check the the site. He also doesn't do any kind of crafting. Well, and he doesn't do any Halloween crafting. He does paint Warhammer 40k miniatures, and he does do a lot of computer gaming, but he does not do Halloween crafting. Yeah, if you ever see UnHallowed make a post on there, it's me. originally I was going to use that only for the haunt, but it's been, quite frankly, just so damn handy to have it also be the crafting page too. Alright, let's do the bottom. You can just do parts if you want, Stacy. I like to do the whole thing, though. I like having that nice, firm, almost armored exterior. I like the solidity that you get from it. And never having to worry that your paint will be too thin and newsprint will start to show through. If a pumpkin's worth doing, it's worth doing right. Nice, isn't it? Right. Let's make sure we get these bones with stuff that went all over the place. I think this skeleton bottle is one of the more unique ones I've done. Yeah, if you don't want to do it all over, you do not have to do it all over. There's no mandatories. Yeah, the bottles did come out quite well. I'm looking forward to seeing them on Halloween night. Oh, that reminds me, I gotta call up to Bowman Lake Park and find out what the heck is going on for October 6th for their Halloween bonanza. I'm going up there to spook that Saturday. Alright, I think that's covered. Let's get the back of the rib cage. Should be good water defense. Leaving the uneven staining on there. Alright, then we just have the back it up, back it up, back it up. Back it up more carefully than that. The Soul Taker. I have no clue, Lenore. I have just made all this stuff this year. Chances are, most of my stuff goes in storage totes. Flat out and straight up. Chances are, what's going to happen is that I'm going to take all these bottles, either get bubble wrap or some other form of packing material, and I will have just the witch tote or the witch totes for all the bottles, because not all the bottles have the antifreeze in them. So I'll either redo a bunch of them with antifreeze so I know they're all secure and store them. None of the small bottles have antifreeze, bring them in. We'll see. We'll see. I should have more than enough storage space by that time. But yeah, they'll probably get packed in a tote. Then the tote will be brought into the apartment/house and stored till the next season. That, or depending on how much space I have, I might unpack that tote and just scatter them around the house for, interior decoration, because I love them. That'll save me storage space. This gallon of Spar I got at Lowe's, and I would guess it probably ran me somewhere in the $29 to $30. I really have no idea specifically because I got it a long time ago. A gallon of Spar will usually run you in the high 20s, low 30s. Most often. Hey, Chris. Oddly enough, Chris, we kind of unveiled the burlap head. It's sitting right here. The form has been removed. It is holding its shape. It is rigid as a rock. Haven't played with it too much. Just kind of pulled the head out, then stuck it up and said, I wonder how many people will find it. Or will come in asking, hey, when are you going to pull the head out? Hey, Larry. Yeah, I was surprised at how well that head just stayed together. I didn't think that the mache would have that much holding power over it. Oh god, 85.90 seems way too high for Spar urethane. Yeah, definitely go for a hardware store on that one, because Amazon's price is way too high. Even if you're paying $40, then you're paying half that. It seems like a ridiculous price to me. Unless you're getting some sort of we guarantee that if water touches this, the water will instantly turn to dust product. It will cure cancer while you use it. If it's something like that, then go for it. But otherwise, no. I think not. If there was a Home Depot near me, I would probably shop them more. There's only a Lowe's in town. The nearest Home Depot is in the town of Oneonta, which is about a 45-minute drive. Though I do love their skulls, gotta say. Their 3 for $10 Halloween skulls were amazing. And if I have any free cash left towards the end of this Halloween season, I might just go there and buy a bunch more. Because that was quick, cheap, easy, and quality. Plus, I'm going to need a whole bunch of skulls if I'm going to keep doing more Halloween projects over the non-Halloween months in between streams. Yeah, the difference between the two is, as far as I'm concerned, relatively negligible. I think Home Depot has a better Halloween selection, at least this year. But who knows what they'll all have next year, or the year after that, and the year after that. I like the Cobalt tools because they're blue, and for honestly no other reason. But everybody's got their own lifetime tool sets that they like. Alright, how far down can I paint and still be able to prop this up on something to dry? Where's that roll of tape I was using last? Oh, buggery. It's gotta be around somewhere. See, I rearranged this place to give me more room. I know that tape is around. There it is. There. I can paint all that and still have plenty of space. Longevity of the submersibles, I think they're going to be amazing because I actually don't plan on submersing them. I think the large puck lights are going to last a hideously long time. An absolutely hideously long time. They seem well constructed, and once the LED circuit is in place, there's actually very little that can go wrong unless I legit screw it up myself. And since I'm not planning on actually putting them underwater, I think it'll be great. Some of the cheaper ones that I got that don't have the counterweights inside and otherwise look like they cut some quarters, or corners I should say, I don't think those would hold up very long under the pool. I think that over time water might slowly get into them, and then you might start getting some rust on the circuits and it might go, but since I have no intention of using them as they were intended, they should last a very long time. Very, very, very long time. I am impressed with their construction. Yep. These tiny ones, I don't know. They're likewise the same. I just hate their batteries, quite frankly. They're easier to put the batteries into than many of the other tiny lights that I've seen, so I don't think they'll be that hard to replace, but I've seen lights of that style before, and I've had, in fact, not even that style. I've just had tiny little lights with tiny little coin batteries, and they've been a pain in my ass in the past. So when I see lights with tiny little coin batteries, I just start getting twitchy. I don't care the quality's really good or anything. I just go, ugh, LED light, coin battery, twitch, twitch, twitch. This reminds me of the time many Halloweens ago when No, please, not the tiny piece on the floor and the lighting, I can't see it. No. No, I don't want to try to put the battery in again. No. But again, these should be a-okay. I may as well just slurp a little bit of that in there because it's going to soak in anyway. May as well slurp a little bit of that in there. It's going to soak on anyway. And there we go. No idea what I'm going to do for a cord for the Soul Taker Talisman. No idea at all. But it's got to be good. Because the talisman's good. Oh, back's cracking. Okay, there is very, very little left to waterproof anymore, really. Except for the very first witch orb, which because I do plan on using, I'm just going to do a little bit of right here, right now, because why not? Nostalgia, the first witch orb. The very first one. I suppose I'll have to pull the fluff out at length if I plan on completely waterproofing it. It's still very solid, which is good. But that is a flaw in the cotton. The instant water gets into it, it starts loosening right up again. Nice. Yep, I just discovered there was a Sally's down in Binghamton. So next time I go there, or actually Syracuse as well, I'm going to load up on cotton coil. And the great thing is the cotton coil can be used on virtually any of these cotton projects of mine, so what the hell, why not have a good stock of it in place? If I ever get a fireplace put in this house, guess what I'm doing the mantle in? Witchwood! The whole damn thing's getting done in witchwood. It's gonna be so pretty. Well, I'm actually curious to see if the technique takes off too. I know I've got the paper mache pumpkin market on YouTube kind of cornered for the moment, but I'll be very curious to see if the witchwood market takes off. Especially for ingredient bottles and witch bottles. Orbs I don't think will get that popular, but a lot of people out there are making their little ingredient bottles, and I think this is a superior look. Nice, Jesse. Actually, the pumpkin I'm working on at work right now, I'm doing in a new style. I'm trying to make it look as close to a real pumpkin as I can. I'm going to do an exterior white and orange. I'm going to see just how close I can get it to looking real. without, breaking breaking myself trying to make it super perfect. Just if you casually wanted to make a pumpkin look like a real pumpkin, what would it take? How much work would you really have to do? And honestly, I don't think it takes that much work. There's a few modifications in the mache methods, but other than that, super, super easy. Nice. Yep, those pumpkin vids are still very, very, very valid. I need to do a slight update to them, but they are still completely on the money. Nothing in there that's wrong. That's as far as I can go down and not start hitting polyfill. I'll have to pull the polyfill out before I go further down. Okay. So I wonder if I can tuck this. Yes, I can. Let's sprinkle this yarn up. Tuck it in the bottom. And I can at least do some of the sides here. Well, yes and no, Skips. Yes and no. That burlap head you see sitting behind me there has no styrofoam head inside of it. Excellent. And we have pulled the styrofoam head out. Yeah, I just gotta keep fresh stuff coming out now, Jesse. The great challenge of the pumpkineer. Alright. Almost there. Alright. Nope, bored now. Stick this in a saturation chamber so it doesn't roll anywhere. How's it going, Paul? That is totally gonna fall if I bump this table. Alright. That's D. Edge, what's up, cat? Hi. Is today the day we get you on TV? Or are you gonna be too slippery? No. Are you coming back? Can I grab? No. Damn. Fuzzy Bear. Hi. Can I get you? Or are you too sneaky? Are you too sneaky? Yeah, she's weaving in and out of the chair. Madge is a tubby cat. You either got to get a really good grab on her with two hands, a really good grab on her with one hand, or you need a two-handed grab. Or I just need to grab her before I come on the stream someday and be holding her when I come in. Alright, let's get this mineral spirited up. Yeah, no, she's like I said, if you don't really get a hook under Madge, she is not coming up. Because she just does not want to get lifted in general. She is not a fuzzball who enjoys being grabbed. I'll come in with her someday and try to hold on to her for a few minutes. Once you've got her, she'll tolerate being held and petted for about 3 to 5 minutes. Sam won't tolerate it for more than about 45 seconds. But Madge will give me a few minutes. Alright, good. One cleanish cleaner brush. And then we'll bring that burlap down for a closer look for those folks who... There. I can't put the picture... I have no way of printing out the pictures, sadly. I'll get her on here one of these days. That, or when the new craft room is situated, I will make a fuzzy cat spot with a nice kitty bed that they won't be able to resist. Or I'll throw a box on the floor that they won't be able to resist. And then we'll watch them clamber into it. I'm surprised how well that seals with no hammering. Why take chances? I once had about 1/3 of a gallon of spar varnish turn into a brick of resin. And I don't like wasting spar varnish. Stuff is way too expensive. Alright, well, here is the burlap head, which I can grab by just this little bit here, and as you can see, it is staying well intact, despite the fact that there is absolutely nothing in there. That is hollow, 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 hollow. But it's still retaining the facial features of that mask quite well. You know, if you press on it, you get the crunchy sensation. That urethane patch that I just put on there is a little bit spongier and softer. So I don't know if I would urethane this whole thing at a go. Or I don't know if I would pull out my internal form before I urethaned it. But all the creases are holding incredibly well. I can take this tie off, and this thing still does not want to bend out of shape. Everything is really, really locked. In some cases, these two folds here are practically glued together. I've just had to pull and separate them apart. I am willing to bet that if you were willing to get messy and you had a piece that would already fit over and you had some mache paste and you just dunked this, brought it back up sopping, put it over your head, and mushed it on, and maybe had some means of both forming or pressing it into place and keeping it there until it dried, this would make a heck of a head. But I mean, all I have here is just this tie. I can always just retighten this up. Yep, and obviously you guys are well aware that Monster Mud is the standard. Monster Mud certainly will work, no problem. Monster Mud will get you a hell of a lot better waterproofingness than this will. But if you got a project and you don't want to make up a batch of Monster Mud, and you just want a preliminary shaping, this will do. Again, I would probably mix my my joint compound in. It's going to discolor it and make it a little more white. With just mache clay, I don't notice a huge difference in the paper mache paste. I don't notice a huge difference in the shade between the done part and the untreated part. There is not a whole lot of coloration difference. You guys, even when you can't pick it up with the camera because the light washes the colors out, but between here and there, there's very, very, very little obvious difference. I mean, we may as well ruin it a little bit here because this is all for experimental, but let's say I gave this thing a crush and went, oh no, I have to fix it. And we're back. Almost like nothing ever happened. If I completely flattened it, you'd be in bad shape, but you know, that was a good squishy compress. And it's pretty much back. It now has a little bit of a crook in the nose, but that just adds flavor. So that's the answer to what happens when you use mache paste plus burlap. You get a tolerable stiffness and forming capacity. Other people do it better. I have no doubt there are much better methods out there than this, but if you wanted to do this, it's there. Yeah, seriously, deviated septum on that. Yeah. I would like my scarecrows to have a little bit more wrinkle to their face, which this does not give, though. This is too much of a just formed over a head. And a really, really good Halloween scarecrow, I think, has a lot more textured and wrinkled growl to him. So I'm probably going to take this guy into the shower, dunk him in, and hit him with some hot water, rinse all this mache paste out. I'm going to let this one section with the varnish, though, dry and see what becomes of that to continue the experiment. But otherwise, this one's probably going to get recycled, so I can use all this for something else. Well, let's be frank. I'm going to do this exact same thing, but with the right ingredients at some point, because I really do want to make some scarecrows that have fiendish faces. And at some point, I might make myself a scarecrow mask as well. I love my mask, but it's might be time for a little shift up. I've been wearing the same thing now for I don't want to think how many years. Almost 10 years. Jeez. Ah! It's awful. So, that's that. But otherwise, I'm at an impasse now because all my stuff is at a drying stage. So, that is all set and done. I think the next thing I'm going to do is finish the lantern project, just because I kind of want it done. It's been sitting there for a while, so we'll make this lantern top, and as far as I know, Brian, give it a shot. I have had people have all sorts of trouble with that thing. It either goes to me or it goes to the page. I can share it to the page if it goes to me. One way or another, if you can post it on there, it's on there, and I'll see it. I did finally order myself some tiny dissecting scissors, though, because I was tired of imprecise clunkers. So, yeah, this is the next project. We'll finish this up. We'll make the top. We'll make whatever mechanism I need to get a puck light in the top. We'll put the internal panels on the sides. I have them printed up somewhere. We'll make whatever rope system I'm going to use to get this suspended at the top. I imagine I'm going to drill a hole through here. I'm going to use a couple of plastic washers because this by itself is not going to have enough strength. You could possibly just pop right through. And then we will we'll call it good. We'll stain it. We'll light it. Should be really, really spiffy looking. Cool. But that's going to be next time. Well, I might make a few more of these soul tubes. Let's screw around with them. So, good stuff. But otherwise, it is 10:07. I'm going to hit the sack. Thank you all very much for hanging out with me tonight. And we will catch you again tomorrow. I am at a family night school event, which goes from 6 to 7:30. So by the time I get home, I might be doing dinner and bedtime. Hopefully I will be streaming on Friday. If not Friday, then, well, you're going to see me again before Monday. That's for damn sure. Because I will be streaming one of those days. There's no way I'm going to let it go that long. Yeah. Thanks much. Have a good night, everybody. And we'll catch you later on. Let's put this in a drying spot. Tuck this back. Let's grab some cider and pet a cat. Night. Echo, turn off craft light. Alright, not gonna trip anything. Hopefully, good. Night. Yeah, let's get a fan on this. What? I'm done. I finished up my works. It's all drying. We're stuck. Night, Sandra.